Attention, please. Send your collie to the nurse's station. Send your collie to the nurse's station. Thank you.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's time to get schooled. You damn right it is. It's time to learn. But also to drink some coffee first, because we always gotta drink coffee before you do the learnings. Guys, what's up? Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Week's almost over for most of you. This is my weekend, so I'm gonna enjoy the next few days off. Cerulean, good to see you. Trip, welcome in. Rob Map, Collie, B. William, Bendy Warp. I keep wanting to say Bendy Rap. Every time I see your name, I'm like, it's a bendy rap. Like a rap that's bendy. Or like a delicious person named Snack. But it's actually Bendy Warp. Not rap. Ugh, I'll get it right one day. I promise you I'll get it right. Kai eating a latte a day keeps Collie awake? Sure does. It also tastes pretty good. And it makes my tummy upset, but otherwise it's pretty good. Kai Aiden, what's up? How you doing? How's intensive care treating you? You surviving okay? You doing well? Are you guys like overwhelmed or how you doing? Because you're down in Australia, right? How you guys doing down there? It's a lot worse up here, I could probably tell you that. Although it's bad everywhere. But man, it's been rough.
Best teacher on Twitch.
Aw, Afrida Black Cat, thanks for the 4 months. Afrida, you're coming in with Twitch Prime sub for 4 freaking months. You're coming on the Collie Cam from the bad luck to the witch's cap because you're a black cat. I got you covered. I don't know, something like that. No cases as of late. Oh. Hi, I hope for that soon. We have more now. I've seen more COVID in like the last month than basically like the entire pandemic at any given point. It's been rough. Pardon the pun, it's been rough. It's been rough. Main Voyager, don't boop. No boobs. The boops. Oh God, River. Rivard.
I start my new job next week. Time to get frisky with veins again.
Dude, Rivard Otter coming with the tier 1 sub for 2 months. Rivard, it's always good to hear from you. You going back to phlebotomy? Time to get frisky with veins again? Yes. Palpate them, poke them, puncture them, drain them of their blood, and tell anybody who complains about it to get over it. Dude, Z Ferreira, coming out with the tier 1 sub for 1 freaking month, guys. It's a new enrollee to Collie Care. Spam the flops. You know what we gotta do. Spam the flops. You gotta spam the flops, because now they're covered under Collie Care, which means I got you covered from the flops to the beans. I got you covered. I did that backwards. I screwed it up, but it's okay. Delaware got hit heavy in COVID with the past few weeks. No clue where it's coming from. I can tell you where it's coming from. Thanksgiving.
The FDA is voting now to approve the vaccine, so hopefully it's gonna be over soon.
Oh, hopefully. I'll believe it when it's stuck in my arm. Thanks for the 100 bits, Stray Tail. I appreciate it. Guys, hold on. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Woof, 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 woof.
Woof, 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 woof. Trip with the 100 bits. Thanks for making Tux Dance. Look at that werewolf. Quality werewolf right there. USDA Prime, you might even say. You might even say. Cerulean coming with the 100.
Cinder 7 love, Cinder 7 love, Cinder 7 love, Cinder 7 flop, 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 Cinder 7 flop.
Cerulean, thanks for the 100 bits. Thanks for making Tux Dance. It's Quality werewolf. Kai 8 with the 6 months.
You can do it, Cinder. We'll all get through this. Smiley cat face.
Smiley cat face. Kai Aiden coming out to 2 months up for 6 freaking months. Half a year, dude. We'll get through it, I know. Vaccine's coming. I'll be first in line. Jeez, you can always stop by for a few minutes today, Moonshine. I'm always happy to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I hope your day goes well. Are we being run over by a hype train? Maybe. Oh God. Inhaled coffee. So I am not gonna play Cyberpunk 2077. Not anytime soon, at least. It's probably gonna be a while before I actually get to that game. If I ever do. I'm being honest with you, I'm not a big fan of huge open world games. I'm not. I get way too overwhelmed with it. I'd rather a story just grab my hand and walk me down a hallway to the next battle. I'm perfectly fine with that. So maybe we'll get around to it, maybe we won't. I got a bunch of other puzzle games I want to play. But maybe at some point we'll get around to 2077. I don't know. I'm gonna give it like a couple months. Let them patch everything out, get everything fixed. And then maybe we'll give it a shot. Potato Dan, thanks for the follow. Welcome, Puppy Flock. Welcome in. Will Chicago have a vaccine in this month? I don't live in Chicago. A lot of people think I do, but I don't. Not yet. I'm from there, but I don't live there right now. no accidental XQC prostitute. Oh God. That game is just TOS waiting to happen. I don't want to go back to Twitch jail, guys. I don't want to go back to Twitch jail. Please don't make me go back to Twitch jail. Please. I don't want to. I had to do things. Terrible things.
Cinder 7 flops, 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 Cinder 7 flop.
God, it's just like being at a convention and flopping in suit. Ugh. Straight Tail coming with 100 bits, making me flop all over the place. Thanks, Straight Tail. No Twitch jail, just bitch tail. I'll show you bitch jail. Ain't no
So
bitch.
apparently a mysterious check I don't remember was deposited into my account for over $100. Epic Pog in chat. Cinder 7 flops, Cinder 7 flops, Cinder 7 flops, Cinder 7 flop.
Hey, Cerulean, how about you send some of that $100 into your pocket so you can get something delicious to eat? Don't give it to anybody else. That's your $100. Eat it. Oh, don't. Okay. Don't eat it. Sorry. Get some food with it, and then buy yourself something nice, like ice cream, or a hot dog, or a $1,000 gaming PC. I don't know. You can make $1,000 out of 100 somehow. I ain't female. Have I ever given the impression that I was? How do I do hand tracking? It's a thing called leap motion. So it's a little sensor on my desk that lets me do this. Ooh. I can point. I can do some things. I can point at you.
$1,000 out of 100 only if you take it to the track and win.
Broster coming with 100 bits. Yes. Perfect advice from Broster himself. Cerulean, take that $100 and go gamble with it. That's the best way to do it. It's free money. Right? It's like that meme. It's free real estate. Right? It's free money. Dude, Trevor the Wolf giving out a tier 1 sub to Zath. Zathium, you're covered in a colic from the Zath to the Athium because you're like a particle of some kind. I know you're a wolf, but like, it makes me think of elements when I see your name. Zath, you're covered in a colic from Thoughts and Beans. I got you covered. Trevor, thank you. Dude, Fox Guy coming up to Twitch Prime sub. Guys, that's a new enrollee to Colic Care. Both Zath and Fox Guy. Spam the flops. Just spam the flops. Just throw the flops in there. Yeah, just haphazardly. Spill them all over the chat, you know. You're the most kind collie I've met. How many collies have you met? But thank you. If Collie spends money on a dog race, is that considered sports betting? Probably, but also I don't bet on races. I'm more of like a craps guy. Some about like actually like physically like throwing the die. The tactile. It's just nice. It feels nice to hold the dice and throw them, knowing that your money's on the line. It's kind of cathartic. I like it. It's fun, and plus it actually feels like real gambling. I don't know. You play like roulette or like blackjack. You're not really doing anything. You're just placing chips and hoping to get lucky, right? But at least with like craps, there's like some little bit of strategy to it. You know, you got to think about your bets and when to pull them and when to place them. And you get to throw the dice, which is fun. You played poker? I've never played poker. Let me rephrase it. I played plenty of like pickup games of poker. I've never played poker at a casino. Never. There's no way I'm near good enough to play poker at a casino. But I've played like with friends. It's fun. I do all right. I don't think I could get too deep into like thinking about, okay, I see this card. The likelihood that they get this type of thing is whatever percentage, and then you gotta start counting cards, and then you get thrown out of the casino because you cheated, but they can't actually do anything to you other than kick your ass, and then you get mad and you counted cards and you actually didn't know what you were doing to begin with. million.
I think I'm gonna go Christmas shopping for my parents since I had such little money until now. Poggers.
Aw, get them something nice. Something. I personally like practical gifts. I don't really need anything that's like. I don't need like fancy. I don't need like, you know, like ornamental, right? Just give me something. Give me something practical. Example. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. For Christmas, Tux got me a pair of trauma shears, like scissors, like my work scissors, right? I have used those basically every day I've worked, and every time I use them, it makes me think of Tux. I'm like, he got me these scissors, and now I am using them to cut these clothes off of this unconscious person. Thank you, babe. Straight tailed another 100 bits. Look at that werewolf. Speaking of Tux, there he is. Look at him. Also, my scissors, my trauma shears, they like to feed. They like to be fed. Sometimes you have to cut clothes off of people, in which case the trauma shears become very satisfied. And if you keep them unsatisfied, then they attack you. So, if you ever get your clothes cut off in the emergency department, just remember, you are helping a poor pair of trauma shears get their daily fill. Okay? Okay. The scissors hunger. They hunger for clothes. Feed me. Feed me. Cinder likes undressing people? Maybe. Maybe a little bit. A bottle of fancy spiced rum. Ooh, send some of that my way. Oh, I love... spiced rum is okay. I'm more of a gin guy. Give me that gin. I want that nice, cool, refreshing... It's gotta taste like Christmas in my mouth. I love it. A little bit of cucumber in there. So good. A sacrifice must be made to the trauma shears, or if you do not keep them content, your ER will be slammed with traumas. So every time you get one, remember, feed the trauma shears, prevent future catastrophes. I'm gonna put that up in the emergency department. The story of feeding the trauma shears. Xeno Monad, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Fluffy Flock. Welcome in. Feed me, Seymour. Yes. Just like Little Shop of Horrors. Feed me. Feed me. Why aren't you feeding me the clothes of trauma patients? Feed me. Give it to me. Where are my clothes? Oh. Something like that. We'll work on it. We'll iron out some of the creases in that. We'll get it fixed. Oh, I'll figure something out. We're just workshopping it. We just gotta workshop it. That's all. You know, you gotta start somewhere. My trauma shear should be an emote. Cinder shear. All right. Oh God. Hold on. Where are my clothes? They're on my neck right now. Unless somebody pays for them to come off, I swear to God. Please don't. So today, we're gonna get more bits, but also today...
My favorite rum is Admiral Nelson's 101 spiced rum. Best served on the rocks with some Coke and Dr. Pepper. You woo Cinder 7 flop, Cinder 7 flop.
I'm just gonna come over to that drink and just... Get a couple lickies of that. And it tastes good. Also, Cerulean, thanks for another 100 bits. I appreciate it. Thank you. So today, we talked about the heart last time. What do you guys think goes hand in hand with the heart? How about those big old sacs in your chest called your lunges? Your lungs. I like calling them lunges because it's fun. But your lungs. We're gonna talk about respiration, the respiratory system. And you guys are now all aware of your own breathing. Congratulations, you are now consciously breathing. If you stop consciously breathing, there's no security that your breathing will once again continue unconsciously. So if you stop, you might die. Have fun now. Enjoy that for the rest of the stream. Congratulations, you're now breathing. And if you stop, you might die. You learned this in class again. It's boring. It is not boring. This is exciting and important and pivotal to your survival. It's also pretty cool. Bryzilla, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Bobby Flock. Welcome in. Lungs are where the coffee goes. No, it goes in the stomach so it can be digested, not in the lungs. That'll kill you. Holding my breath in rebellion? Yeah, you can rebel for about 30 seconds. And then you're either gonna pass out and breathe or you're gonna give up. But by all means, rebel. It's your human right. Just so you know, we can pool our channel points to buy them. Wait, what? Since when could you pool points? No. No, 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 you can't. You cannot.
Woohoo! Shotspot!
Am I gonna go to the biological parts? I mean, we're gonna talk about it. What do you mean the biological parts? The whole thing is biology. And a little bit of chemistry and physics, but mostly biology. I don't know. Krakow, why don't you watch? And you tell me. I love your bandana and I'll take it off one day. No! My God! Beta Pup. Beta Pup. Beta Pup. Come here. Come here. Come here, Beta Pup. You want this bandana? You have to come take it. You have to come take it off of me. Come on. I'm waiting. Okay, fine. Yeah, I have a freaking stream. I gotta take this bandana. Even made that damn redeem. Take the bandana off and make him naked. Oh God, Cinder's naked now. Oh God. Is this what you want? Is this what you want, chat? No, please don't look. Stop, don't look. I'm naked, please stop. Blame Beta Pup. They did it to me. They did it to me. Don't look. Don't look, please. Don't. Go yell at them. TOS, no. Hey, don't tell Twitch jail, please. Don't tell Twitch jail. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to Twitch jail, please. Mika, hey, what's up, Mika? I am looking at a chat that has no respect for my decency. Keep myself clothed. Yeah, I'm looking at you. I see you. Generous. Gotta turn off the stream. No, Loam, wait, no, come back. Wait, hold on, Loam, come back. Loam. No. Seeing you naked is a pleasure for me. Thanks. I think. Sure. I don't know. Is that a compliment? Is that a compliment? I don't really know. You held your breath for 1:15. Take that, teacher. Well, guess what? Do it again. Actually, don't. Please don't. Please don't hold your breath. It's just breathe normally, please. Just breathe. Are you guys ready for class? Are you ready to freaking learn? Get add a channel point reward for 1 point to put the bandana back there. No. So here's why I'm not going to do that. Because removing the bandana is, so what is it? It's 20,000 points. So if I were to make a, like if you could take it off and then put it back on, if I were to do that, it would completely invalidate the points that person spent, right? So Beta Pup spent 20,000 points to take off my bandana. If I then were to have another one that, so let's say it was 20,000 points to put it back on, you guys are just wasting points. So I want you to make sure that these points are, the reason why all of the redeems are so expensive is because the points need to be meaningful, right? If everything's so cheap and the points are meaningless, it doesn't really matter. But, you know, I'm not gonna put one on there to put it back on. Completely invalidates it. I thought about it though, I did think about it, but ultimately decided not to. All right. Let's do like this. Demon Crow, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Bobby Flock. Welcome in.
I still want more embarrassing Tux stories as a redeem.
Maybe. Maybe. We might make that happen. I gotta make sure Tux is available more often. He's unfortunately in the other room working right now, so. You enter the classroom, who let it rip? Nobody yet. Yet. Someone will screw up. It'll happen to someone today. Alright guys, you know what time it is? It's time to sit down. It's time to shut up. It's time to put that ass in that chair. Because it's time for class. If you're late, I'm gonna call your parents. If you eat food in the classroom, I'm gonna embarrass you with a fart. If you make any kind of disturbances, well guess what? Detention for you. I'm on a tight shift. You don't wanna be here? There, oh come on. There's the door. Right over there. But, if you're willing to learn, welcome. I'll come up with something like that. I don't know, something stupid. Alright. Will we ever see the bandana again? Next stream. Next stream, you will. Unless Beta Pup asks for it back on, which is the only way I'll do that. How about that? If you guys want the bandana back on, the person who removed it will have to ask for it to be back on, because that is they made it come off in the first place. That'll be the rules. Sounds fair? I think it's fair. So Beta Pup, you're in control on whether or not I get dressed or not. Use it wisely. Alright. So, in the last lecture we talked about the cardiovascular system, right? We talked about the heart. And how the heart works as a pump to maintain pressures in your arteries and your veins to move blood from point A to point B in a circuit to keep all of your cells and body parts well supplied with oxygen and nutrients and help to transport waste, right? It's the highway system of the body, right? But in order for that to be effective, we need to get oxygen into the blood, which is what our respiratory system does. So if you, right now, sitting in your chair, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. Congratulations, you've just respired. You have just had a respiration, a single respiration. There's a lot that's going on there. It seems so easy and straightforward, but there is a lot that's happening, and we're going to talk about it. But in order to talk about that, we need to understand some basic physics. Are you a House Pets fan? I am! Whoa, I was. For I think I stopped reading in 2013, 2014. House Pets was actually one of the ways I found furry. It was my first introduction into furry was through that comic. Back in it would have been 2004, 2005 maybe. It goes back when Red vs. Blue was huge on the internet, right? So I read it for years, and then eventually I just fell off of it and stopped. And it's so far behind now that I don't even want to catch up. I know he's the creator is Markiplier's brother. I do know that, which I think is interesting that you have two people of the same family who created massive internet followings in two different enough areas and both be successful with it. Oh my god, I'm thinking of Two Kinds. You're right. Yes, House Pets. I actually still. You were 100% right. Oh god, I screwed them all up. That's Two Kinds. You're right. Two Kinds. Two Kinds is the one that got me into furry. House Pets, though, I do read that. I still read that actively. I've been reading that one for a while as well. A couple years on that. I genuinely enjoy that one as well. I am so sorry. I screwed those up. Oh god, I'm a bad dog. I screwed it up. I soiled it. Soiled it. Oh god, come on, hand. Soiled it. Soiled it. But yes, I'm sorry. Yes, House Pets, fantastic. I enjoy it. I really like reading it. Good. First intro into furry, The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I will. Do you? Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear my quick furry origin story, or 2 if you want to get on with the lesson. 1 for origin story, 2 for lesson. Bubba! 12! Broster wants to get on with teaching. 3 wasn't even one of the answers. Time for Cinderlore. Oh god. Okay. Alright. Settle down with the numbers. I got it. It's okay. Settle. Cease. Desist. Stop. Alright. Okay, so. Oh God, I'm gonna have to go through. Okay, trying to think. Okay, so back in like middle school, I think it was like 6th grade maybe. It would have been like I started high school like 2003 maybe, 2002, 2003, 2004, somewhere in like the earlier half of the 2010 or the 2000s, right? So somewhere from like 2003 to 2005. Me and my friends were playing. We played a lot of Halo on Xbox, and the internet was still kind of budding at that moment. But I had access to internet, and I stumbled upon Red vs. Blue, the machinima. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. The first like 100 episodes of Red vs. Blue are fantastic. Got a little crazy, a little off the rails as they progressed in the seasons, but the first like 100 episodes are great. They're still funny, even almost 15 years later. So I really got into that, and I found a forum. Like I got on their website. I went on Rooster Teeth's website and as like a 13-year-old posting on the forums and talking to people on the forums. And at one point, there was, you know how people used to have on the forums, they used to have little banners underneath their name, right? So every time you posted something, you'd have something like a banner underneath. And I saw one for Two Kinds, and I was like, oh, what's this? And I clicked on it and was brought to the website, to the comic, and was immediately like enthralled with it, right? Like I remember sitting at our family computer in our basement, like just reading every single one, all the way from the beginning, all the way to where they were at that time, multiple times over, because I was just like, I want to read this. The story's great. I love this. Through that, I discovered DeviantArt, which exposed me to a lot of furry stuff. Didn't quite crack into the furry scene quite yet, but I had been exposed to it, right? You're older than me? You are, probably. I don't know. I'm late 20s. I won't say exactly how old, but late 20s. How do I make you angry? Yeah, stupid questions. No, I'm sorry, it's not a stupid question. You just ask. Or you do something to make me mad. So then, okay, so fast forward a couple years, right? Now I am a sophomore in high school. Maybe a freshman, sophomore in high school, right? I've been exposed to it, had really kind of dabbled with it, but it never really got invested, right? But you guys know how, like, most people's intro to furry was The Lion King, right? A lot of people, especially like 80s and 90s kids, The Lion King was their entry, right? That was the movie that was like, holy crap, this is what I wanted. Like, I'm interested in this. I want to see more talking animal things, right? Well, for me, it was Happy Feet, the movie about the dancing penguin. I saw that when I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school, and I was just like enthralled with it. Like I could not get enough of it, right? I'm talking about like every time I was homesick from school, I would watch it like 2 or 3 times over, right? I would watch it like almost weekly, if not more, during that time. For whatever reason, it just was like, I think it spoke a specific message at a specific point in my development that just clicked, right? That idea of it's okay to be whoever you want, even if people don't accept you, as long as you're happy, that's fine, right? Like that idea of like being an outsider and whatnot. And not that I was, but I think just that idea was like, it just hit right. And at the time I was, trying to figure out what I wanted in life, who I wanted to be with, and I was questioning my identity a lot. And I think it just spoke to me at the right time, right? Well, I got like super involved in it. Like I was on forums, I was on fan websites, I was interacting on like, forums, and like I was RPing like a lot. And I just like, I couldn't get enough of it. And through that, I was exposed to Fur Affinity. And then once I got off on that branch, everything opened up. My first character that I actually made as a fursona, as like a quote-unquote fursona, was a penguin. It was a penguin character because of the fact that I had started with Happy Feet. So I had a penguin character first. There's somewhere out there exists that. I don't know where it's at. Well, let me rephrase that. I could probably find it, but I am not going to. I know the things to look for to find the right channels to go down to find where that exists. So I started with that, and then as I started to get more and more into the furry scene through this, and everything kind of opened up to me, I became a wolf, which is where I adopted this the color scheme, the light blue with white, and then green eyes. And then at some point during that, I transitioned into being a collie because a friend was like, "You should be a border collie." I was like, "Okay," and thus Cinder was created. That was in like 2012. I think I've had him as a character for like 8, maybe 9 years. And now here I am. I've been going to conventions since 2009. And basically, other than this year, have gone to at least 1 to 2 conventions every year, if not more. And pretty much everything I do, like all of my defining moments from high school, college, post-college, even to now, ever since that moment when I was a sophomore in high school, have been entrenched in the furry fandom. I've done a lot, I've seen a lot, I've been around a lot of people. I've seen a lot of bad things, but I've seen a lot of good things. Sorry, that was the story. Not the most interesting, but it was good enough. All right. How did you meet Tux Blucher? That'll be a story for another day. For now, we must get on with the lesson. Because you're here to learn. You're here to learn. Be educated about your body and how it works. And also because it's pretty freaking cool. Okay. $420 is it? It's not. It's 3:30. It's not 4:20. Not yet, at least. Not yet. It's not. Who's Tux? Tux is my boyfriend, my partner, who's in the other room right now. All right. So, in order to understand how we breathe and how we manage to how our system works, we got to understand some basic physics, right? Who's ever heard of diffusion? God, my handwriting continues to get worse. Diffusion moose? It's not diffusion moose. Although I heard if you back up too close to the moose, he grabs you on the hips, and then bad things happen, or good things depending on who you are. We've learned about diffusion moose, the breakdown of chemicals. So diffusion is a physical little law of the universe. I imagine it's a law, right? The idea behind diffusion is that molecules will always move in a gradient from high to low, right? High concentration to low concentration. And this is familiar if you remember when we talked about fluids, right? When we talked about the heart, fluids always move from high pressure to low pressure, right? Well, molecules and particles work the same way. They will always move from a high concentration source to a low concentration source. You can think of it like, for example, perfect example. You have a sugar cube, right? And you drop a sugar cube into a cup of water, okay? Where that sugar cube is sitting, you have a high concentration of sugar with a low concentration of sugar in the surrounding water. Over time, that sugar is going to slowly dissolve and disperse to create an even concentration of sugar throughout the entire drink, right? That is just the nature of how the universe works, right? Things will always go from high to low to try to get to the most stable pressure, right? Because molecules are lazy bastards, they're always looking for a low energy. They are low energy. Octane Blaze, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Floppy Flock. Okay, so little quick example here. So before I move on with any of the other respiration stuff, this is an important concept we need to know, okay? You have your high concentration here, right? Over time, these are going to start to spread out so you get to a situation where everything is pretty much evenly dispersed, okay? This is known as diffusion. So things move from high concentration to low concentration, okay? Now, for living beings to function, we need a way of getting good things in and bad things out, right? in order for us to function as organisms or life, we need a source of external energy and a way to get rid of waste. But when we were tiny, tiny little, single cellular organisms that were less than like a nanometer long, right? We looked like, and we looked like something like this, right? Way, way billions of years ago, maybe not we, but living beings at that time utilized diffusion because it is essentially a free force in the universe to help them survive. What you'd find was happening is you have this single cellular organism floating around in water, right? The water is very rich with oxygen, right? The inside of the cell is not. So slowly over time, oxygen would diffuse in through the water, or in from the water into the cell, right? Because that's just what happens. You have a low concentration of oxygen within the cell and a high concentration out. So the laws of nature dictate that oxygen will slowly diffuse into the cell, right? This works great for a single cellular organism, right? And then in the same vein, carbon dioxide, because you have a high concentration in the cell and a low concentration in the water, diffused out. Great. This is fantastic, right? This works very, very well for small things, right? Small organisms do not need a respiratory system because they can just work through diffusion. It just works for them. But as we get bigger organisms, right, in order for diffusion to work, diffusion can only work on the perimeter, right? You can't diffuse in the center of a cell. It's got to come from the outside, right? So as we got bigger, and say you had something in here that needed oxygen, diffusion, it no longer works. It doesn't work fast enough, and you can't get enough, right?
Plays Minecraft on phone in class while eating Skittles.
Bubba, put the phone. Give me the phone. Give me the phone. Come on, give it to me. You've lost phone privileges. I'm putting it up front. Oh, and if you get a text message, I'm gonna read it. You better not be RPing back there. I will read it out loud. Come on, give me the phone. Come on. You think I'm playing? Give me the phone. Give me the, okay, principal, I'm getting on the phone. We're gonna call the principal. Okay, so as organisms got bigger, right, bigger cells cannot utilize diffusion as well as smaller cells, if they can even utilize it at all, right? Because the amount of time, it still takes time for that oxygen to travel through. Now, if you're a nice small single cellular organism, everything's very close to the perimeter, right? The idea of the square cube law, right? If you have a cell that's this big, right, and a cell that's this big, right, some oblong shape, right, the amount of volume increases more than the amount of perimeter, the amount of surface area increases, right? In order to maintain the same amount of, in order for diffusion to happen, you have to have more surface area than volume, right? But as we get bigger, our insides become more and our outsides become less. So the ratio of surface area to internal organs becomes smaller until eventually diffusion can't work. You're burping in class. I'm unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Unfreaking believable. Get out. Oh, come on. Wrong hand. Get out. Burp in my class. Disgusting. Nah, just pass it with you. You can stay. How does the entry of exogenous particles affect the respiratory system? You talk about like outside particles affect the respiratory system. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. We'll get there. Your body filters out a lot of it. Okay. He's demonstrating gas exchange. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. This time. So, diffusion works for very, very small creatures, right? Bigger cellular organisms can no longer do it because their insides are too big and too far away from the perimeter that it takes too long for oxygen to diffuse in and they die, right? So what did evolution do in the meantime? Well, they created multicellular organisms, right? We have a bunch of cells that group up together, right? That are small enough that diffusion can still happen, but they can work as a single organism, right? They can work as like a single team, right? And then they can start to specialize. But then, even this, you start to get bigger multicellular organisms, right? And now you can't get any diffusion down here. So what did life start doing? It started folding over on itself. Because when you fold it over, you can now have more cells that are all closer to the surface, right? To the outside. So if you've ever seen a lot of things, like if you ever, for example, when you look at like your intestines, right? All those little like hairs that stick out, those little things that stick out within it, right? Those little projections. All that's doing is increasing surface area, because in order for diffusion to be effective, we need more surface area. The more surface area you have, the more you can diffuse through. Okay? That's important. That's important to know that. All right? Maximize surface area. Yes, we are trying to maximize surface area. Crash course in multicellular evolution. Kind of, I mean, yeah. Like you have they fold it over, or they created like a lumen, right? Where there's a hole in the middle. So once again, you get more cells touching an edge, right? That's how our bodies developed.
Plays Infinite Flight on phone because Cinder obviously can't see my phone.
Bubba, I'm gonna have you stop. I'm gonna have you stop right there. I appreciate the bits. Pay attention. So, organisms start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? We can only fold so much. So what happens next? We have to develop a way of moving water, because remember, we're still in water right now, moving water around to get as much surface area as possible. This is where you start to see gills develop, right? Different respiratory or different circulatory systems to try to move some of this around to get more contact with more surface area, right? Until one day, millions and millions and millions of years ago, some asshole fish decided, I want to breathe air, and developed a fancy set of lungs to be able to pull the almost limitless supply of oxygenated air from the atmosphere in and diffuse the oxygen diffuse the oxygen from the air into their blood. And because of that asshole fish, we now all have to suffer through life together. So you guys can all thank that asshole who decided to breathe air once for your existence. Thank you, fish. It's been tough.
Just one more time because Tux is cute boy.
Okay, I'll allow that one last time. Microorganisms are the entire reason we have oxygen in the atmosphere, so microevolution is important for learning about respiration. And it's important because I really want to hone down on diffusion, right? Because if you don't understand diffusion, you're not going to understand how our lungs work. Real quick, I got to turn on the fan. It's getting hot. Okay. So here. So, as organisms got bigger and bigger and bigger, right, we started to develop different ways of utilizing and the word I'm thinking of, not utilizing, to take advantage of. What's the word I'm thinking of? It's not to take advantage of, it's another word. Think words, English. Oh God, what is it? Manipulate? No. Evolution, exploit. Thank you. Exploit. God. Stupid brain. Come up with the words I want you to. I'm having a stroke. Oh God, I'm having a stroke. So, as animals get bigger and bigger, more complex, they found ways to exploit diffusion to their advantage, so that way they can continue to essentially get free energy from the air through this physical law of diffusion. How do our lungs do it? Because you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't sit there and suck oxygen in through my skin and release CO2 through my skin, right? This doesn't work. And you're right, that's not how it works. Our body's too big, right? We have too much going on. Bribe? Maybe. Dead Cat Studios, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Floppy Flock. Welcome in. So we developed the respiratory system. The respiratory system consists of, obviously, the most important organs that you can see within it, the lungs, but also your nose, your mouth, your nasal cavity, your pharynx, your larynx, your epiglottis, right? Your bronchial, your trachea, your right main bronchus, your left main bronchus, your bronchioles, and then eventually your alveoli, but also your diaphragm as well, right? Let's take a picture. Let's get a big picture here. Oh my God, that was big. That's not as, I did not want that. That is way too big. Let's smoosh it. So here is the human respiratory system. I'm sure you guys are all super familiar with this, but we're going to go over some key points here, okay? So you can kind of break this down into two different parts. You have the conducting zone, which is basically everything from the lung, everything above the lungs, right? And then you have your respiration zone, okay? Let's talk about the conducting zone first. And we're going to talk about the pathway of air through the respiratory system and what happens to it during the way. When you first caught me with my phone, I wouldn't have done any good to call the principal because I was RPing with the principal. I'm pretty sure that's like illegal. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I'm gonna go fill out a report real quick. I'm pretty sure you can't do that. I think. As long as it's poorly oxygenated, ignore the picture. Ignore the picture. So let's zoom in on the upper airway. So this is your upper airway. All right. Remember, we've seen this picture before when we talked about the sense of smell, right? Very similar. So when you breathe in, air comes up through your nose, okay? Sometimes through the mouth too, but generally speaking, it's going to come up through the nose. You have these little hairs in your nose, right, that are going to work to filter some of the particles and nasty stuff out of the air that you breathe, right? That's why you get boogers. Why you get these nasty like chunks of stuff in mucus. That's your body's way of capturing those particles that are flying in with the air that you're breathing. Okay, the air comes up through your nose and eventually makes its way back to the pharynx. Now, in your nose, you have your sinuses and the actual nasal cavity itself. The important thing about this is the nasal cavity and the sinuses work to warm and humidify the air. So, our lungs are covered in mucus, right? Fluid and mucus down there. In order for oxygen to dissolve, in order for us to utilize that oxygen, it has to dissolve in that fluid so that it can then diffuse through into our blood, right? But if we don't humidify the air before it comes down into our lungs, everything's going to dry out. Your sinuses and your nasal cavity work to warm and humidify the air before it gets down into your lungs. Okay? Okay. It makes its way to the back of the throat, known as the pharynx. You have the nasopharynx and the oropharynx, which is just the back of the throat, and eventually down into the larynx, which is the opening of the trachea. There's this nifty little thing right here. Does anybody know? Oh, well, don't look. Does anybody know the name of that little flap that covers your trachea when you swallow? Are the cardiovascular system, respiratory system similar because you don't need oxygen in your blood? They're similar in that they work very well together, but not super similar. Like, they work differently. They work similar in the sense that they both work on pressures, but I wouldn't really call them similar. It's a lot of tubing, it's a lot of piping. The epiglottis! Yes, the epiglottis. So the epiglottis is this little piece of cartilage here that when you swallow, closes off the trachea so that food can go down your stomach, right? Because if you look here, your esophagus right behind your trachea. They sit right next to each other. And this is just poor design evolutionarily, but nothing we can do about it now. You have this little thing up here called the epiglottis, which is super important to keep you from choking on food. If you've ever gotten food or fluids down the wrong pipe and you start coughing, it's because you got it down into your trachea and it makes you feel like crap because you can't breathe. You can get what's called aspiration pneumonia, where if you get enough stuff down in there, it can cause an infection. The human larynx sucks. Yeah, it's kind of poor design. If you look at, like, us humans like to think that we're like evolutionary gods, but like, just look at the foot. Have you ever seen the anatomy of the foot? It's disgusting. It's a disaster. It's a mechanical and engineering disaster down there. There's bones and tendons and muscles and just all over the place. It's just a disaster, right? Into pause confirm. No, I'm not. Okay. So the air moves down through the pharynx, through the larynx, and into your trachea. Interesting thing. Look at the trachea here. You see how it's surrounded by these, like, it's got these, like, cartilage rings around it, right? If you were to compare the trachea to, say, the esophagus is loose and flappy, right? It's not very sturdy, right? And that's to allow food to move through it. The esophagus is very rigid. Think of it like a vacuum hose, right? if you were to hook up a vacuum to say, I don't know, what's something like a, I don't know, if you were to hook up, I don't really know what to explain it as. So essentially, the cartilage exists there around the trachea. It's nice and rigid to keep it from collapsing when you breathe in, or when you breathe in. So when you breathe in, you're going to create pressure, right? And if you didn't have it there, the trachea would collapse, right? Because it would suction closed, right? So you have to have that rigid surrounding structure of the trachea to keep it open, so that you can move pressured air in and out of it without it collapsing or expanding. Ah, you're cute. Well, thank you, Dragon 6 Slave. I think thank you. Good name. Thanks. The pelvis too, all crap. The human body, we like to think that we're really like pinnacle of evolution, but actually we're just pretty damn lucky that everything works the way it does. Let's be honest, we have basically one tendon that runs up the back of our heel that without it, it's incredibly hard to walk with. And that's about as bad a weak spot as you can make. Do I get extra credit for bringing tennis balls to class for you? Maybe. Oh wait, wrong expression. Maybe. It depends. You get a share. I knew quite a bit about the respiratory system. My high school choir teacher was talking about the mouth, vocal cords, and then he talked about the respiratory system, how we can exercise our lungs so we can get more air in, and learn how to control how loud we are singing. Yeah, I've heard like singers, they get taught to breathe more with their diaphragm than with their chest. Like there's different ways of breathing, I guess. I never understood it, but people who sing, there's apparently a proper way to practice breathing while singing to get more air and more force. Okay. So, air comes in through the nose and mouth, down past the pharynx, down past the larynx, into the trachea, where eventually it's going to come all the way down. It's going to branch off into the right and left main bronchus. And from there, all the fun starts. God. Good enough. Here, your lungs closer. So, as the air continues to move down the trachea, separating into the left and right main bronchus, this is your right, this is your left. Remember, anatomical position is flipped. We are from the patient's perspective, not our own. It then travels down the main bronchuses, branches off into bronchioles, and eventually ends up at the end in these little sacs that we call alveoli, which we'll talk about next. But I want you to look at something real quick. Look at these two lungs. Your right lung has 3 lobes, and your left lung has 2 lobes. Anybody have a wager or guess why your left lobe has your left lung has one less lobe? What's missing in this picture that looks like it should fit right in there? We just talked about it, like last stream. The heart, yes. So remember I told you that the heart kind of sits it sits in the middle, but it sits kind of off to an angle. It's right in there. Right in there. So your left lobe has 2 lungs, your right lobe has 3. We can sometimes do surgeries to take out lobes. It's called a lobectomy, removal of a lobe. We used to do those on the last floor that I worked on. It's a heart pocket. It is. It caresses the heart. It just holds it, holds heart gently like hamburger, right? It's like the hold pigeon like hamburger gently. It holds the heart gently like hamburger. I'm just gonna say, Chuve Sands. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Floppy Flock. Welcome in. You're talking about how skeletal structures are bad. Try having bad nervous system and worse bones. You have Charcot. Oh, you have Lou Gehrig. Is that Charcot-Marie tooth disease? Isn't that isn't that Lou Gehrig's? Oh no, I'm thinking of Charcot's disease is Lou Gehrig's disease, right? And I believe Dr. Charcot also put his name on a different one. Degenerative nerve disorder disease that usually appears in adolescence, early adulthood. Muscular weakness, decreased muscle strength. How is this different versus us? They're both degenerative diseases. Does it just affect different things? I kind of always assumed they were the same. I don't like not knowing things. I always thought Charcot-Marie Tooth disease was the same as ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, or Charcot's disease, whatever name you want to call it. I know those degenerative nerve diseases can get really complicated. Okay, so we talked about the lobes. Now, let's break it down even further. So the air now continues to travel into the lungs, right, through the bronchioles to eventually it backs into, or eventually runs into what we call the alveoli. Really gonna do that? There we go. So these little grape-like projections are known as the alveoli. These are little tiny sacs that are at the end, all the way at the end of the bronchioles, right? That fill up with air. They look like giant grapes. They look like balloons. They basically are balloons. So before we talk about what exactly happens in here, let's also talk about another idea known as bulk flow, right? So if we talk about diffusion being the ability of concentrations of molecules falling or traveling from high concentration to low, right? If you can get more in there, right, more will transfer over. If you can get a bulk flow in there, right, as much as possible into that area where diffusion happens, more diffusion will occur at the same area, right? So less air in means less diffusion. More air in means more diffusion, right? So one of the ways our bodies to realize, or that asshole fish millions of years ago realized, wow, I can get way more oxygen from the air than I can from the water. So let me get as much in as possible and have it hit as many surfaces as possible so I can get as much diffusion as possible. Does that make sense? Remember, diffusion only occurs at the membranes, right? Right at the boundaries, right? So if you can get as much air as possible, touching as many boundaries as possible, you can get more diffusion. All about maximizing our ability to utilize diffusion to our advantage. That is what the alveoli do. The alveoli are these big sacs at the end of your bronchioles that fill up with air. So as you breathe in, oh god, that's not what I want. So as you breathe in, it comes into these little alveoli sacs and fills up these alveoli. Well, each of these alveoli, these little balloons, are covered in capillaries, right? They surround the alveoli with capillaries, with, veins and arteries, right? What happens here is this membrane is small enough. There's only four layers of cell or of tissue that the oxygen has to diffuse through. You have this massive influx of oxygen through the deep breath that you take, which makes massive concentrations of oxygen in the alveoli with a very easy path to diffuse through the wall of the alveoli, through the wall of the blood, and into the blood, where it can then be picked up by red blood cells and transported around the body. That is how we breathe. We get a bulk flow of oxygen into the alveoli, which has a thin enough membrane to allow the high concentration of oxygen to diffuse through the membrane into the blood to be picked up by the red blood cells and carried around your body. But not only can oxygen diffuse through this, but CO2 can diffuse out in the exact same way. You now have CO2-rich blood coming to the same membranes as the oxygen. You have a high concentration of carbon dioxide within the blood and a low concentration within the alveoli. So CO2 diffuses out. And when CO2 diffuses out, oxygen can diffuse in, and you get what we call gas exchange. Is everyone still breathing manually? Probably, because if you stop, you'll die. Does this make sense? You guys understand how we have utilized diffusion? We have utilized this free source, this free physical law to our advantage to get oxygen in. Because remember, a living thing needs to bring energy in and get waste out. This is how we do it. We breathe in and we breathe out waste. Sure, somewhat, yes. What are you confused about? Are you confused about the process of diffusion? Are you confused about how it gets into us? Are we saying we poop out your lungs? No, I am not saying that. And you shouldn't be either, although some people definitely spew a lot of shit out of their mouth. But it's not coming from their lungs. It's coming from their head. I couldn't pass up that joke. That was too good. That was too good. Free air. You're talking about... Who's talking about diverticulitis? What? Wait, what did you say? Diverticulitis sucks. I got first diagnosed at 27. Another older person disease at 27. Did you actually have diverticulitis or diverticulosis, right? So diverticulitis or losis is when you have those pockets in your colon. The diverticulitis is when they get infected. Constipation of the brain and diarrhea of the lips. I like to call it verbal diarrhea when people just keep talking nonsense. Just like, just verbal diarrhea. You're just shitting out in your mouth. Can the nose tube that goes to the stomach accidentally go into the lungs? You talking about the NG tube? Yes, it can. I've done it. Okay, I'll tell the story real quick. What happens during an asthma attack? It's an inflammatory response. It causes these airways here. So these bronchioles, right? It causes them... Not good. The inflammation causes them to constrict, right? And when these constrict, you get less airflow through them, which means less
Who's
oxygen,
a good
which means
boy?
become hypoxic.
Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You teach us about the respiratory system, you good boy. Yes, you do. Yes, you are a good boy.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Scarlet Derby, thanks for the 100 bits. Thanks for the good boys. Oh, God, I needed that. Thank you. Okay. But yeah, asthma attack. Asthma attack is a reactive airway disease. Essentially, your airway has like an inflammatory response to something, some kind of irritant that causes swelling, which causes constriction of the airway, which means you can't breathe. That's what an asthma attack is. All right. Let me make sure, did I hit all my points? Yes, I did. By the way, your lungs, you have about 700 million alveoli in each lung. In each lung, 700 million of these little sacs of air. So remember, we talked about surface area, right? If each one of these little pockets, these little alveoli, right, has however much surface area, I think it's like, it's some ridiculous amount. If you were to take all of your alveoli and flatten them out, it's some ridiculous amount of surface area. And you have 700 million of these alveoli in your lungs. So, once again, we have engineered, our body has evolved to create as much surface area as possible to utilize the bulk flow of oxygen coming into our lungs so that we can maximize diffusion into the blood to get as much oxygen as required for our bodies to function. That simple. Any questions? Size of a tennis court? I think you're right, Kai Aiden. I also think it's weird that we use a tennis court as a size of measurement. Like, how far do you think it is? How far do you think they are away from us? Oh, I don't know, like 300 tennis courts? Like, who thinks of that as like a metric of measurement? How far of a walk it is? About 500 badminton courts and a football field. You guys want me to do a quick recap? Any questions? Hi, you're a nurse. What do you think? This pretty much does this make sense to you? Normalize the use of tennis courts for measurements. I played Cyberpunk 2077. I talked about it earlier. I'm not going to get it right now. I'm not a big fan of super big open world games. I get really overwhelmed with it. So unless it's like everyone's like, you gotta play it, it's amazing, oh my god, I might wait a bit before jumping into it. I'm more of the type of person who just hold my hand and spoon feed me the story. I don't want to have to work for my story. Foxy, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Flabby Flock. Welcome in. Okay. So, respirations, their respiratory system. So in order for our respiratory system to work, we have to understand the law of diffusion, right? Diffusion is the idea that molecules will move from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. This is done without any energy, and this is just done as a natural law of the universe. When we were small single-cellular organisms billions of years ago, we utilized diffusion to get oxygen into our cells and also to diffuse waste out of our cells, right? This idea works very well for very small things. As we got bigger and developed more surface or more insides, our surface area couldn't keep up. So in order to function or to compensate for that, we had to develop a way of bringing in more oxygen and exposing it to more surfaces so more diffusion can happen. Well, eventually some asshole fish decided to breathe air, and now we're all here. Humans have developed a respiratory system that works pretty damn well. You have your upper airway and your lower airway. Your upper airways consist of your nasal cavity, your nose, your mouth, or oral cavity, your pharynx, your your pharynx and your larynx, as well as your trachea. As you breathe in through your nose, your nasal cavity works to humidify and warm the air as so not to dry out the sensitive secretions within your lungs. The air then passes through the pharynx, through the larynx, past the epiglottis, and into the trachea. The trachea, being a nice, thick, rigid tube that does not collapse under pressure, will bring the air in and down to the bronchioles. Your right main bronchi and right main bronchus and your left main bronchus branch off to each of the lungs, where the bronchioles continue to divide into smaller and smaller pathways until eventually it meets a dead end at the alveoli. The alveoli are giant balloon-like projections that fill up with air. High concentrations of oxygen fill up inside these alveoli, and when run next to the low concentrated blood and the capillaries attached to it, diffuse through the membrane and into the blood where it can be picked up. But also, the blood then drops off its CO2 because you have a high concentration of CO2 in the blood, which then diffuses into the alveoli and out as you breathe out. One thing I didn't mention, this little lovely piece of floor muscle here known as the diaphragm is what lets you breathe. It contracts and expands to create positive and negative pressure in your lungs. Just like with fluids, air moves from high pressure to low. So when we breathe in, you create an area of low pressure in your lungs. When you breathe out, you create an area of high pressure. Low in, high out. The system works every time you breathe. That is how you all breathe. And now you're breathing manually. Congratulations. What is a singular term for alveoli? I believe it's just alveoli. I believe it's one of those singular plural words. Someone asked about NG tubes. So yes, I have had a patient before who, when I was trying to place a tube in their stomach down, or in their nose down into their stomach, didn't follow my commands when I told him to swallow. So instead of swallowing, the tube slipped into his trachea, and on X-ray you could see my tube in the right main bronchus. Completely incidental, but also the patient's fault for not following my instructions. When I tell you to swallow water, you better swallow water, or else you risk getting a tube placed down the wrong pipe. And then pneumonia. When we talk about pneumonia is usually a collection of mucus or fluid within the alveoli sac that prevents air from passing through it, right? So for example, say you get a infection, you get some kind of respiratory infection, right? You end up, as part of your inflammatory response, you end up with this like mucousy collection of maybe pus and fluid down in these alveoli sac, right? Because of your body fighting the infection, right? And one of the ways that we fight infection is through inflammation, which inflammation is just it's dilating of the vessels to allow more fluid and more immune cells to reach that area. Well, sometimes that fluid collects in the alveoli, which then hinders gas exchange, which makes you feel short of breath. If it gets bad enough, eventually it kills you. If you want to talk about what COVID does this very well, because COVID creates like a cascading immune response, where your body goes into like overdrive and it can't really stop itself, and it really ramps up fluid in the lungs, and then you end up drowning on your own secretions. Essentially, pneumonia, think of it as mild drowning, right? You have gotten fluid in your lungs where air can no longer pass through, and it impairs your ability to transfer oxygen, which makes you hypoxic, which eventually kills you. You had pneumonia and influenza A at the same time. Not fun, let me tell you. Why is there fluid buildup in the lungs and heart failure? That's a good question. Heart failure, congestive heart failure, is a pump issue, right? So if you have I'll do a very basic. If you have your heart here, right? Remember, one of the things the heart connects to is the lungs, right? You got your lungs over here. Right, you got your lungs and your heart right here. So if you have what formerly was known as left-sided heart failure, which is your left ventricle, remember, the left side of the heart pumps blood out to the body, right? So if you have, say, high blood pressure, long-term high blood pressure, this side of the heart has to work harder to overcome that pressure to move blood. Well, as the muscle works harder, it eventually becomes bigger. Like any muscle that you overwork, it'll become bigger. But as the heart muscle becomes bigger, it becomes less contractible. If the heart muscle is less contractible, it cannot give a solid enough squeeze. So for example, normal heart, quick squeeze, right? Boom, boom. As you get a bigger heart, it maybe can't close all the way, right? Because it's gotten too big to squeeze tight. So it can't eject as much. So it tries, but it's too big, right? So it kind of like, it doesn't close all the way. But what happens with that is then you start to get backup of blood into the lungs. You start to get congestion. So think of this as a car wreck, right? You have an accident on the freeway, everything starts to back up. And now you got this excess amount of fluid in the lungs, which then causes some of it to leak into the alveoli, and you end up with pulmonary edema, which is swelling of the lungs due to congestive heart failure. Does that answer your question, Blutra? You know, Cinder would probably force ourselves to evolve into something better, but you know how evolution takes place. You're in a medical science. I silly doubt you go to the religious. Humans are beautiful yet flawed organisms. We have done a lot of things very well. We have really, I mean, the opposable thumb, right? Without the thumb, we would basically just be monkeys. This tiny little thing right here allowed us to do so damn much, right? And has allowed us to become what we are today. And we made the best of a bad situation. Anyways, that's that. Having an intelligence really throws a big ass wrench into our evolution. It does. Unfortunately, it does. But also remember, we at some point developed. Hold on. I forgot about this one. I had one more picture. So this picture here works. This is pretty interesting to see. So you can see how the air comes into this giant alveoli sac, right? And you can see how these capillaries are kind of wrapped around it, and it can transfer the oxygen and the CO2 can freely transfer, diffuse in and out to create that cycle of CO2 out, oxygen in. I forgot to use this picture, but this picture works really well to really show you, right? You have big surface area with a high concentration of oxygen that can then pass in and out of the blood, or of your blood. Lots of positive energy and good vibes, so much love. Well, hey, thank you. I'm glad that you say. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad that I can make you happy. What'd you guys think? You like that? Was that good? As Juice would say, you like that? You like that? Juice, you like that? It was good? You guys at least understand now a little bit more about the respiratory system? What did you learn today that you didn't know before? Obviously, we knew you breathe in air to get in oxygen, but what did you learn today that you didn't know before that made you go, oh, kind of interesting? That was a good lesson. Thank you, teacher. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I just learned something, but I wish I knew English more so I can understand more. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Still breathing consciously? Good. Breathe. You can't stop breathing. If you do, you'll never start again. Keep breathing! Don't stop! Isa, dude! Isa, hey! What's up, Isa? Isa, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Bobby Flock. So
I
good to
wasn't
see ya.
paying attention except dear melodic voice.
Broster! Broster! Talking about this voice. Don't stop breathing. You stop, you'll die. I learned why heart failure causes fluid buildup in the lungs. It's important to know. A lot of people don't understand that. The Blutra now, if you think about it, one of the primary treatments for heart failure is diuretics. If we can get some of that excess fluid that's building up in your lungs off of you, it can clear up some of the symptoms.
To your melodic voice, sorry typo.
Broster, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for 100 bits. Thanks for making tongues dance. Look at that werewolf. Prime werewolf. Break from work. You came up and recommended channel since I normally watch Twitch. Oh, Isa! I'm so happy you're here, Isa. I always enjoy playing. I enjoy playing Among Us with you, even though I still think you're pretty sus, and I've probably killed you a lot. I have fun. It's always good to see you. The whole low sodium diet makes sense as well. Yes. High sodium diet means more sodium in your blood. More sodium in your blood means more fluid because it's going to draw the fluid in from the cells, which means more volume, which means harder strain on the heart. Isn't it amazing when you understand some of the concepts, how everything makes sense then, right? So instead of your doctor saying, hey, you need to watch your sodium, the doctor should say, hey, you need to watch your sodium, and I'm going to explain why. That's what they have us nurses for. Age Shine, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Flobby Flock. Welcome in. Do you feel that your colleagues at work and nurses in general are well versed in the textbook medicine as you, or show interest in it? I think to a degree. I do this because I felt like I was not well versed in it. So to me, or for me, this is just as much a learning and building experience as it is for you guys, right? Because in order to fully understand something, teaching it is the best way to know that you understand how a system works, right? And I've utilized this in the and since I've started teaching on Twitch, I've actually utilized some of this information at work, right? I had never really heard of a Jacksonian march before, right? Remember when we talked about strokes? Some people can have a Jacksonian march where they have like a small stroke that causes, or a small seizure rather, not strokes, seizure. They have like a small seizure in one part of their body that causes their leg to shake, and it kind of moves up. It's called a Jacksonian march. I'd never heard of that before I taught it, right? And I learned about it. And then like a week later, I had a patient who was talking about like, oh yeah, I had a seizure and it felt like my leg was moving up my leg. And I'm like, that's a Jacksonian march. I know that now. I think Angie Cinder be cute. I'm not cute. God damn it, I'm not cute. I'm trying to be mad. Also, diuretic is used as a testosterone blocker as well. I'm on spironolactone. Really? I didn't know that. My father had a really long needle put in the back of his lung to drain. Yeah, it's called a is it paracentesis? No, paracentesis is lung. Thoracentesis. Called a thoracentesis. Sometimes if you actually have physical fluid within the pleural space, we can tap it and get it out. Like tapping a tree. I'd love to hear you speak on nurses versus PAs and what makes some good fit for one versus the other. That would be a good conversation with Tux. We've done things pretty well considering, but I think we could get rid of a lot of those flaws in the next generations through medical science, like slowly cut them out of DNA sequence. You got to be careful when you talk about DNA altering because it's a very controversial topic. I'm all for it, right? I'm all for manipulating the tools that our body gives us and utilizing them as much as possible, right? For example, the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine. They utilize our body's ability to read mRNA to develop proteins, right? So we are going to inject a specific strand of messenger RNA that's going to make our body develop the protein that is on the side, or on the spike protein that's on the virus, on COVID, on SARS-CoV-2, so that we can expose our body to that protein so that when our body sees that protein in real time, it can react and we've already developed a defense against it, right? Because in one of these streams, I'll do a full stream about the immune system because it's a complex system. But essentially, your body responds to antigens by isolating them and then developing antibodies to destroy it, right? But this process takes time. So what this Moderna vaccine is going to do, or the Pfizer vaccine, is going to trick our body into making the protein that is found on the outside of the virus, which is harmless to us, but important for the virus to be able to attach itself to the host, so that when our bodies interact with that protein, if the virus enters our body, we have given our immune system a huge head start in developing antibodies and a way to fight it. That's the problem. When you get COVID, your body takes time to be able to develop the ability to fight it, and sometimes your body can't react fast enough, or it reacts too forcefully, and you end up actually damaging yourself. What is cute and why is cute? You mean like the emotion for cute? I don't know. Trans female that prescribes spironolactone and estradiol. Interesting. Yeah, Isa, be careful with. So did they tell you be careful with diuretics? Because you can lose potassium through that. I'm not sure how hormones affect like electrolyte balances. I'm unfamiliar with that. I should probably know. But just be aware that with diuretics comes the risk of electrolyte imbalance, right? Because if you're peeing a lot, you're going to be losing a lot of electrolytes, so you got to make sure that you're monitoring that. And if you have any like palpitations or heart issues, you need to make sure you get checked out. I believe is spironolactone, is it a potassium sparing diuretic? It might be a potassium sparing diuretic. It is! Okay, it is. Never mind. Spironolactone does not make you lose potassium. It is potassium sparing. Treats your body from absorbing too much salt and keeps your potassium levels from getting too low. This medicine is also used to treat hypokalemia, low potassium. So it actually helps increase your potassium level. Interesting. I guess that makes sense. If you don't pee out potassium, but you pee out fluid, your levels of potassium in your blood become more concentrated. That makes sense. I'm on vitamin supplements, but yeah, there's blood work I do every 1 to 3 months to monitor it. Good, good. Are you doing it under the supervision of a physician? Do you have a provider who's supervising that? By all means, I fully support it, by the way. I fully support it as long as you are being closely monitored by a doctor and it's being done properly. Because if it's done improperly, I'm not sure of the effects of it. So make sure that if you decide to go through with that process, anybody in the chat, that you do it with the guidance of a physician who is licensed and practiced in that art. Because you can screw yourself up if you don't do it properly. Primary care physician does it, thankfully. That's actually pretty cool. I'm glad that there are physicians out there who would help support that. Also on the subject of simple things with massive names, I have chronic spontaneous idiopathic angioedema. Your face just swells up for no reason. Not good. Not good. I've had to help my mom today with her emphysema. Been using a nebulizer as a means to help her breathe a little better. Absolutely hate hearing her in pain because of this thing. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Having any kind of respiratory issues like emphysema or asthma or COPD or pneumonia, not being able to breathe is like the worst feeling. I feel really bad, and you can tell like when patients are truly when their respiratory system is truly compromised, like you can tell. They look like shit. Their breathing sounds like shit. They're exhausted. They're winded, right? They're sweating. They're exhausted because you know how hard it is to be able to breathe. It takes a lot of work, right? Is that Dead Space monolith? It is. It's the marker. It whispers sweet nothings in my ear. It says, "Make us all. Make us all. What are the scientists? Raise the mark. Make us all." Yeah, it keeps me company. Long nights here in the emergency department. It keeps me company, and it lets me see friends. I see necromorphs and dead family members and old friends who I haven't seen in forever who are being dismembered. It's great. There's a contingent who do do-it-yourself HRT for several reasons, mainly due to gatekeeping therapists, doctors, or legal reasons. They do their own blood work, if I remember correctly. Mixed feelings on it. I understand the desire to represent yourself how you truly feel, and I cannot fault them for taking things into their own hands when viable options are are otherwise unavailable, right? It's unfortunate that it has to be that way, and I wish it wouldn't, because I think anybody should be able to do what they want safely under the guise of a physician, as long as it's not severely detrimental to their health, right? I'd say I don't condone medically guided heavy drug use, but actually there's been a lot of evidence to suggest that treatment centers work better than jail, so I'm kind of on the fence about that argument. But going back to what you're talking about, Isa, I understand the reason why people would be driven to do that, and it's unfortunate that they have to be driven to such lengths because they do not have the resources available to them, and it's a failure of the system is the problem, right? It's a failure of our system to be open and understanding to people's identity and what they would like to do, right? I am glad that more physicians are starting to understand that and make efforts to do it properly. But I advise anybody who does it without the guise of a physician to try their best to find a physician who will help them with it, to make sure that they don't severely damage their body. As I would say to anybody who, wants to do anything, right? If you want to become a bodybuilder, I suggest that you find a physician who can help guide you through that safely. If you want to lose weight, I advise that you find a physician who will guide you through that safely and do it properly, so not to hurt yourself or prevent or cause permanent damage. That's what I'll say on that. That's what I'll say on that. Because to go any further would be to talk about the failure of our healthcare system as a whole and how poorly run and managed it is. So we won't go into that because I have a lot of opinions on it. Probably not good to speak them out, to publicly speak those opinions. I do not want to undermine my ability to work as a professional within the field while also criticizing the field. It's unfortunately the same way that we manage mental health in this country, that we stigmatize it, and patients are just not provided with enough resources to truly manage their mental health, so they just continue perpetuate the cycle of abandonment and helplessness because our system fails them. Countless times our system fails them, and they are just left to try to figure it out on their own or just give up. And unfortunately, it's exhausting. I don't blame the people who give up. Anyways, that's enough of that.
Shazbot!
You've avoided the medical establishment for anything about weight loss, lots of fat phobia I've run into. It's so, ISA, unfortunately, yes. I think part of it is, with my experience in medicine, if a patient is honest and upfront about it, like I'm okay with that, right? What I get frustrated with is when a patient who is obese enough to where it's affecting their health, right? That is the key word there. Okay, let me make sure that I put this out there, right? As a kind of like, where's my hand? Come here, I want to use my hand to accentuate the point. When a person has gotten to a point where their obesity is affecting their health, you can be obese and be healthy. You can, but at some point, if you get to a certain level, it will start affecting your health. At some point, it reaches a barrier. When you have gotten to that barrier, and your doctor tells you this, there's a reason for it, right? They're trying to help you. And so often do we have patients who are in that situation who we then try to tell them, look, we can try to manage this, but it's really important that you try to lose weight to really get this under control. And then they blame everything else except for that, right? They will turn to anything else except the doctor saying, look, you're 500 pounds, right? This is affecting your back. This is affecting your knees. It's affecting your heart. This is affecting your pancreas because now you have type 2 diabetes, right? You are in danger of physically damaging yourself if you go any further, and you need to stop. And they say, well, all they care about is my weight, because we need to, nothing else matters until we address that, because anything we do, it's an uphill battle at that point, right? So when you get to that point, it's important that your doctor explain to you that that is the reason why. But that is not to say you can be obese and you can be healthy. But eventually it will get to a point where it can cause issues, right? I've taken care of a patient who is 750 pounds. There is no way that a majority of her health problems did not come from the fact that she was 750 pounds. Our bodies are not meant to be that big. It's not meant to function that well. And it's the unfortunate reality of things, right? And it's hard to hear that. As a patient, it's hard to hear, you need to do better about your diet. You need to do better about your health. It is not easy to diet. It is not easy to lose weight. For some people, it's incredibly hard. For some people, it's very easy. For some people, they just naturally can do it on their own. But some people need a lot of guidance. And it's not easy. And it is what we call a lifestyle change, right? This idea that you have to change how you live your life to better improve your health. And this goes beyond just obesity. This goes with diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, cancer, lung issues, liver issues, right? It's the same thing. You have your long-term alcoholic, right, who drank himself to the point of liver failure, who now has to make a lifestyle change. He has to change how he lives to keep himself from dying. If he continues the life that he is living, of drinking every day, he is going to kill himself. You need to change your life. If you are obese to the point that it is causing massive health issues, and you continue down that path, it will eventually catch up to you. You need to make a massive lifestyle change. It's not easy. It is not easy for people to change their routine. We are creatures of habit, and it does not go over well when you tell people they need to change their habit.
Cinder Collie, I have epilepsy. What should I do if I have a drop attack and I'm alone? I very rarely have a warning phase, and when I do, I don't notice it quick enough to get in a safe position.
If you're alone and you have a seizure, there's not a whole lot you can do. I'm sorry. Because part of having a seizure is not being conscious. So if you are able to get yourself in a safe position, if I know some people with epilepsy like will see auras, right? They'll get like a visual aura around things before they seize, right? Or some people will feel it coming on. I don't know what your situation's like, but if that happens, try to get yourself on the ground, right? Because usually what hurts people, they seize and they fall and they hit their head or they have some kind of traumatic injury, right? So you need to try to get yourself to a safe position, preferably anything hard, away from anything hard. But if you're like, just say in the middle of the, in the middle of the living room or in the middle of the bathroom, just put yourself on the floor safely, but get down on the floor because you're going to lose consciousness. When you seize, you're going to lose consciousness. So get down on the floor and try to protect your head, but unfortunately, once the seizure kicks in, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Anyways, I don't want anyone to think, to circle back around, I don't want anyone to think that I judge people based on how they look or their lifestyle choices. That is not my point. It is not my choice to judge. You have your own life to live. I have my own. I cannot tell you how to act or behave. All I can do is tell you what I know and what the science shows. And it is up to you to make informed decisions about how you want to manage your health. That is the key word I've always said, informed decisions. I will give you the information. What you do with it is up to you. I cannot guide your actions. I cannot instruct your actions. I can only guide you. And what you do with it, that's your choice. I will be here to treat you if you continue to worsen. I'll be there. We'll be there. Is that a dildo on your desk? No! It's the marker! The thing that treatment should not be shaming people. That will not help convince someone. It's important to tell them about health complications, but the method and messaging should be changed. It should be. Yes. So, I agree with you, Isa, I do. I think we're healthcare professionals kind of get put into they kind of get backed into a wall sometimes. Because you can try to approach it gently. And it should always be the first approach. The first approach should always be a gentle approach, explaining what's going on, why it's detrimental, and the things they can do, and how that will improve their health, right? Sometimes, though, people don't get the message. Sometimes you have patients who will continue to argue with you after you've fully explained it. Sometimes people need to be told straight to their face what they don't want to hear. I'm not saying that should be the first approach. That should be, secondary or tertiary, depending on what other methods you've tried. Some patients respond better to being told straight to their face with no frills. Some people need to have their hand held and explain the entire process to understand it. So for some people, it's more of a negligence issue, right? Because they just don't know. And for other people, they just need that kick in the ass to get it right. Sometimes you hear stories about people who their doctor straight up tells them, if you don't do this, you're going to die. And sometimes you have to put it in that perspective, right? You have to put it in plain, simple terms.
Any advice on a stubborn parent that needs a primary care physician and doesn't like doctors? Cause she has a lot of health problems and prefers hiding them cause she's stubborn and wants to believe she can fight any problems if she pretends they don't exist.
Debbie, thanks for the 50 bits. Such a common issue. The amount of times I have patients who come in, I've been having crushing chest pain for 2 weeks, and I just decided today to get it checking in. They're having a massive heart attack. It's like, why did you wait? Well, I was afraid of medicine. Sebi, this is typically what I explain to these people. I understand the phobia around medicine and doctors. Get it, right? We stick you with needles. Everything is confusing. It's like going to the mechanic, right? You're afraid that they're going to screw you over because you don't know what's going on. It's the fear of the unknown, right? You have no idea what they're trying to tell you. You don't understand how your body works. Maybe it's because you've never been taught properly, or you just chose not to learn it, right? So they get afraid and they decide not to go. Also, yes, Toofy Boy medical bills as well. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that right now. As badly as I would like that we could, there's nothing we can do. But here is what I would tell them, Sebi. Whether they like it or not, eventually they're going to have to seek medical treatment. If they wait long enough, they're going to have to receive emergent treatment. And I can promise you that emergent treatment is going to be much worse than preventative treatment. So they just kind of need to rip the Band-Aid off. First of all, they need to accept they have issues, right? That they have something medically wrong with them. A lot of people refuse to believe that that something could be sick, right? Humans love to believe that they're invincible until the moment the universe makes them realize they're not, right? We love to think that it'll never happen to us. Oh, I'll get COVID and I won't be the 1% who doesn't die. How do you know? You don't know. You're just guessing, right? Humans love to think they're invincible until the universe reminds them that they're not. See it all the time. We are not invincible. We are very fragile, and things can go wrong very quickly that you have no control over. So why wait for that to happen? That's your mother, all right? So you can also do this argument, right? If you're worried about hospital bills, you're worried about the cost. I will tell you right now that emergent medical treatment is much more costly than preventative medicine. It just comes as one bulk bill when you're already sick and half dead, as opposed to a small trickle of bills if you're going to your doctor's office regularly. It's hard. It's not easy, and some people really struggle to afford it. I get that. But much like buying cheap shoes will cost you more money in the long run, as you have to replace more pairs of cheap shoes as opposed to dishing out the cash for a good pair of shoes in the get-go, which will last you longer. Preventative medicine might cost you more money in the moment, but it'll save you thousands of dollars down the line when you have a medical emergency. Can I continue the weight topic off Twitch with you sometime? You're welcome to. I can give you what, I'll tell you what I've seen and my experiences with it. But you're welcome to. 15,000 a day in the ICU when my mom was there. Yeah, well, ICU is expensive. Think about the level of care they're getting. $10,000 ambulance, I'm not going to get into the politics of healthcare because it's a massive failure that I don't want to get into because I have some very strong opinions about it, and I don't feel it's appropriate to share those publicly.
Who's a good nurse? Who's a good nurse? Are you a good nurse? Are you a good nurse? Yes, you are. Cinder, yes, you are. Cinder,
Okay.
7 love.
Hold on. I'll respond to that if I can get my hands. Am I a good nurse? Yes, it's me. Oh God, I hope it's me. Is it me? Is it me? Yes, it's me. Oh God, it's me. Thank you. Toki Darkfire, thanks for the 100 bits. I appreciate it. Vorlord, thanks for the follow. Vorlord, thank you. Please don't eat me. Can we have you as a therapy dog and pet you all day? Maybe for like a couple hours, and then I usually get tired and want to go home. There's one other problem though. She's been showing signs of dementia the past few years, and that I don't know how to deal with on top of everything. You should try, if you got to drag her kicking and screaming to a doctor's office, you should. Medical issues don't generally just go away. They just get worse. Very rarely do significant medical issues fix themselves without modern medicine. So the options are treat it before it becomes an emergency or treat it when it becomes an emergency. I know which one I'm going to pick, which is treat it before it becomes an emergency, because then you're more likely to alter the course of it. Are you even legally allowed to be that adorable? I hope so. Guys, I gotta go. I gotta take a quick bio break, and then we'll get into Talos Principle. So if I got a bit real, it's okay to get real. The real world does not cease to exist outside of this stream. It's okay to get real. It's fine. I think sometimes it makes people uncomfortable to hear the realities of the world because we like to shelter ourselves from things we don't like. But unfortunately, the universe doesn't really care what we think. The universe doesn't care if something makes us uncomfortable. It only cares that it's going to happen anyway. So you might as well just embrace it and deal with it head on, as opposed to letting it blindside you. How'd you meet your BF? That is a topic for another day. Real quick though, hold on. Watch this. I cut my audio off too. Watch the sheep. I'll be right back. I gotta go. A quick bio break. Don't lose them. The sheep do not move. What the hell are you talking about? Sheep do not go move. Or sheep no go move. Who said move? What are you doing? What are you guys doing? You talking about moves? There's no cows here. Where's the beef? Ain't no beef here. You hear me in the background? I'm in the foreground now. I am happy to report, chat. Hold on, let me turn the music down. Oh, but this song though. Can we get some Cinder Pleases in the chat, please? Shugaka. Okay. Dude, Draven, what's up, Draven? Draven Drago! Stabbing you in the butt next time we play Among Us. Current song. Okay, so here I'll tell you. It's because I don't have it's on Spotify. Ah. It's called Many Days by Jason Ross. So this is the Anjuna Beats X Twitch playlist. So there is a playlist on Spotify by Anjuna Beats, who's a record label that's Above and Beyond's record label, and they have a whole playlist of royalty-free music from their record label, which is basically all the music I listen to anyways, which is all like progressive trance stuff, and it's wonderful. Wonderful. Highly suggest you look it up. Love me some Anjuna Beats. Cinder is a butt biter. Oh, butt biter? I do not bite butts. I sniff them. Massive difference between biting and sniffing. I just want to sniff them. I don't want to bite them. Okay. Oh, I'm happy to report, chat. I'm happy to report. My kidneys are functioning properly. Just wanted to say my kidneys still work. Oh, they worked very well today, too. All right. I do not bite butts. Listen. You're not gonna go around and spread those lies about me. I sniff them. I sniff. No bite. Sniff. Get it right. Did you drink lots last night? I drink lots during the day, always. Always drinking water. ADW, always drinking water. I'm not tall enough to bite a bottleneck because I'm old Loam. I expected better from you, Loam. Yeah, hey guys, we got a Khajiit here who's trying to sell wares. What should we do? We should arrest him. Khajiit he stole all the wares. Where'd you get those wares from, Khajiit? Loam, you big butt. I'll bite you next. Look up the song for serious for later. Okay. What's it called? Hold on. Look up Written in Reverse by Tuffetto and Hardwell. Written in reverse. Okay. He nips the nips. Oh my god. I do not. Ankles only. Alright. Let's play games. Talos Principal, where are you? Oh, nope. Wrong thing. Oh god, oh god, oh god! No, bite the Khajiit. Bite the Khajiit. Where is the Talos Principal? Why am I blind? Am I blind? There it is. One of those moments where you ask yourself, am I stupid? Am I stupid? I don't know. Maybe. How to get Cinder mad? Prolonged ear fuzzles beyond 3 seconds. Don't fuzzle my ears. You can flop them. Cinder is here to kick butt in Among Us and own Whiskey. Okay. Whiskey is always sus. He is always sus. He controls the conversation when he's the imposter. Every time he kills somebody, Whiskey loves to do this. If you guys ever play Among Us with Whiskey, pay attention to this, right? I'm gonna give you a little secret here. So Whiskey, when someone dies and he's an imposter and say he killed them, right? He'll come into the conversation. He'll be like, "Oh God, Drago's dead. Oh God, how'd that happen?" Like it's a surprise. Like, bitch, I know you killed him. Don't act all surprised. He likes to self-report too. He'll kill and then he'll self-report and do all like the, "Oh God, who's dead? I found a body." It's like, yeah, because you killed him. Circle. Circle, you know what I'm talking about. You played with him. And I love playing with him. It's fun because he's a very good crewmate. He's very good crewmate. Very good at sussing people out. He's got a good memory. He can remember a lot. He knows where people are. He's very good at getting under people's skin and kind of like breaking apart their argument. But he's also a really good imposter, but he does have some tells. I have my tells too. And he knows them. Still gonna stab him in the butt though. Have you ever seen anybody with a strange prosthetic like black glass eye or arms from video game characters? I want to say I've seen a glass eye before. I've definitely seen fake eyes. Remember when I said I had learning difficulties? This is how it works for me. My dad for years was teaching me about computers and programming, was not at the same time able to repeat the lessons. But one day a friend was having some problems with their computer and I was able to help. My dad walked in surprised to hear me helping because I was getting it right. Is it you just have trouble, like, you just need time to process the information, or you're just not good at like learning right away? You need to process it a bit longer. Morning schedule: get out of bed, time for coffee; take a shower, time for coffee; get dressed, time for coffee; eat breakfast, time for coffee; use the hydrant, time for coffee; check on the sheep, time for coffee and cake. Sounds about right. You gotta make some time in there for pooping because coffee makes you poop. You just got your circle. Of course, Cinder will throw you under the bus if you're an imposter with him. I totally would, dude. It's all about, look, okay, Draven. When you throw, sometimes if you try to defend a very obvious killing, as like, so if you're an imposter and your imposter teammate obviously kills somebody and you try to defend them, you're immediately sus. So, sorry, I'm gonna go with the gang here and kick you out too and try to finish it on my own because you done goofed. Not my fault you screwed up. Not my fault you got caught. Don't get mad at me though. Dogger, what's up, Dogger? Guys, it's that one Dogger. If you haven't seen Dogger's art, I highly recommend you go look at his art. It's amazing, and they draw cute dogs who pull socks up on their legs that look like feet because it's cold outside and it's adorable. Go look at their art. It's amazing. I lost a toenail back back a bit and has taken less than time started on the internet to grow back. It take a while. Toenails take forever to grow. The problem with processing the information, I function at a higher level than I test at. Fair. I really wonder that Cinder don't. Why I haven't played it? Why I'm not playing it? I'm not super interested in it at the moment. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll say I've explained it and I'll explain it again. I'm not a big fan of massively open world games. I get overwhelmed and I get paranoid about my choices and I want everything to go the right way. And if it doesn't, I get upset. So I just prefer a game that holds my hands and walks me through corridor after corridor of engagements. I find it to be a little bit more fun. Because then I don't have to focus. Like I can just play the game and not have to like process huge story things. What is with this like? The dust is weird. Also, puzzle games. I'm not gonna just drop. So, okay. What do you guys think of streamers who play multiple games at a time versus streamers who play one game at a time? What do you prefer? I've always been the person who plays one. I like playing one game and focusing on one game for streaming. I feel like I can't divide my attention enough between multiple to really fully grasp them. Whereas I know some people like, you know, will do some one game one night, another game another night, and then it's kind of cyclical. I prefer one game, one game, one game. I want to play OG Among Us. It says 1.5 years, but it's only been few months. I've had most of it back. Among Us stream when? At some point. I'm bad. I'm really bad about doing community streams, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really bad about like doing stuff with you guys. I'm sorry. Oh God! Well, that sucked. Yeet. Oh, that was weird. I was gonna say we and yeet at the same time, so I did the tone of going wee, but I said yeet, so it came out as yeet. A very, very non-committal yeet. Oh my God, what the hell? Oh, this is gonna suck. Press and jam. Come on. The game, I love watching you play this game, watching you figure out the laser puzzles. Well, Draven, thank you. This game is really fun. I really enjoy this game. Excuse me? Oh, that opens up that. Okay. I can stand here for a bit and then, okay. And then we'll do this. Okay.
Hello, Cinder.
Bailey's a chicken, thanks for the 1 bit. Hey, what's up? Where's the interrupting werewolf? He's working still. Oh, okay, okay. So then I can stand on that as my other self. No, I can do this. Let's do something real quick. I need to... So that, I can stand here. If I could grab that...
How are you, Floppy Master?
Hey, Little Chicken, I'm good. How are you? Thanks for the 1 bit. Trying to figure out this puzzle. Oh, okay, I have that, okay. We're gonna reset this. Forgot I have this. Alright. You're something like my late grandfather, who I loved very much. Like him, you take your time explaining things and you're calm like him. Oh, running paw, thank you. Dude, that's super sweet. I'm glad that you have fond memories of your grandpa. That's super nice, thank you. Too kind. Really too kind. We'll stay here for a little bit, and then we'll go like this. Come on, me. Come on, me. Don't move me yet. Don't move. No! Oh, this sucks. I gotta start over. Okay, is it I've been saying Ellie Deer. Is it Eli or Ellie? I'm gonna go with Eli Deer. Thanks for the tier 1 sub for 8 freaking months, dude. Eli Deer, you're covered under collar here from the antlers. Eli, okay, from the antlers to the hoovies. I got you covered. Thanks for the 8 months. Holy crap. Enjoy that rare sheep color. I don't know why I'm doing that. This. Okay. We're making our way through this. We're making our way through this. Do they learn deer actually have pads? Do they really? I thought they had hoovies. Alright, we're gonna stand here for a long time so I can reset everything. Whiskey's Gen 1 tier list won't have me concerned. He put Starbucks at S tier and fast.
Cinder is best boy. Cinder is floppiest boy. Cinder is cutest boy. Cinder is best sheep herder. Cinder is best doggo. Cinder is awesome boy. Type F in chat if you agree.
Bailey, thanks for the 1 bit. That's super sweet. Thank you. Okay, I know what has to be done. I know what has to be done. I just don't want to do it. Okay, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna have to think about this for a second. So what I need to do now? So I got all the equipment I need. So this is gonna come.
Shotspot.
I have two of the lasers. I gotta place one like here. What if I come down? I gotta place one like there. And then the second one can go all the way down here and connect that. But I need to make sure all of those are open then, which means I need this, which I can do in my other form, maybe. Turn on so I can, okay. Oh, this is gonna suck. Alright, but I think I have all the pieces I need. Alright, here goes. Okay. Give myself some time to get it together. I should have this one in the bag. Hi, Aiden, take care. Alright, let's do this. Need to wait here for my other self to do what it needs to do.
When it's time to party, we will
Dude,
party
Zavato!
hard.
Zavato, hold on, let me finish this puzzle!
Cinder, cute. Tux, cute. Coffee, yum yum. Sheep, bar. Hotel, Trivago.
Dude, we did it! Oh my god, yes, okay, that actually worked the way I wanted it to. Yes! Dude, Orc! Orc, you're free, go free! Run free! Holy crap, okay. Zavato coming in with a rate of 7 freaking T. Dude, Zavato Fox! Thanks for sharing your community with mine, and thanks for blasting my ears full of wonderful NGWK! What's up? What are you guys doing? Thank you for... I apologize I didn't get to you right away. I was solving this puzzle. I had to do this puzzle. Orc, what's up? Peace. Aliens and Chicken, thanks for the bit. Dinner cute, Tux cute, coffee yum yum, sheep ba, Hotel Travago, for all your travel needs. Zavato, what were you guys playing? What were you doing? What were you streaming? How did your stream go? You're playing Beat Saber. Ooh, be careful at DMCA. Be careful. I've been in Twitch jail. You don't want to go. Trust me, you don't want to go. I'm not gonna. I don't care about the lore. Guys, thanks for joining. We're playing Talos Principle, the puzzle game. We're on the DLC. We're almost done with it. We have yet to run into a puzzle that we couldn't complete. Tell us a Twitch jail tale. So one time, I was in Twitch jail, and I was there trying to put something in the chat, and it wouldn't let me because it IP banned me, and then one of the moderators come by and they laughed at me. They laughed at me. They said, "Haha, you can't post in the chat." I was like, "Oh god, how will my friends know I'm watching them? How will my friends know I'm supporting them?" Oh, terrible. Don't worry, I sing while playing, so it's mainly covers, I guess. Well, hey, they'll get you for singing too. They'll get you for singing too. Colliding beams, okay. Interesting. Bailey, thanks for the 1 bit.
Cinder, I have a difficult question. What would you be doing if cake didn't exist?
Pie. Or ice cream. Ice cream. Bailey, thanks for the 1 bit. Also, I need to change that. So I appreciate the bit, but please don't spam it to make messages get read. I appreciate it. I do. Oh, there is something back here. What the? Oh my god. I gotta put something all the way down here? Are you kidding me? Oh, that's to get to the star. Screw the star. I don't want the star. Ice cream cake. Ah, yes! That's Tux's favorite type of cake is ice cream cake. So when I got him his birthday cake, for his birthday, I made sure to get him an ice cream cake because I knew that was his favorite.
Such a precious cinnamon bun, Cinder 7 love.
Oh, Mastermind, thank you! I'm a cinnamon bun. I thought I'd be more like a blueberry. I'm more like a blueberry muffin. But I appreciate it. Thank you for the 100 bits. Thanks for making Tux dance, and thanks for the pastry comparison. I appreciate it. I need a red laser for that. Okay. Oh. There we go. Bailey!
Alright, he'll just use bits to see Tux. He is too cute.
He is pretty damn cute. What's your favorite ice cream? Oh, okay, so you guys are gonna hate me for this. I love plain vanilla ice cream. If I had to pick any singular flavor of ice cream, it would definitely be vanilla.
Can't get enough of Tux.
Can't get enough of Tux. Look at him dance. Okay, but Bailey Steele, you should chill. I appreciate it. Thank you. Chill. Chill. Thank you. Alright, well, we got that one. But I don't really need blue for any. Oh, I do need blue to get out. My favorite is vanilla too. Based answer. Can't go wrong with plain vanilla. You can have it, and I typically, when I mix my ice cream too, when I put like stuff in it, I think I generally like. Well, it depends on my mood, I guess. Some days I like fruitier stuff. Some days I prefer more like savory, like chocolatey. I guess it just depends on the day. There's blue. Babe05K, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Floppy Flock. I need that. Which means I should be able to do this with 2 lasers. I need to figure out how to do this with 2 lasers. That's how. Figured it out. We're gonna take this over here. Try working at Culver's. I love Culver's. I don't think I'd ever want to work there, but I love Culver's. Okay, now we got all 3 pieces. So now we need to direct blue to there. Keep careful with eating chocolate. I can have chocolate. I'm an adult. I can eat whatever I want. I can eat chocolate if I want to. Okay, so I gotta do both. Oh, almost. It's just my positioning is off? I wouldn't want to be on the floor kitchen either. I'm the porter for my store, so it's a lot more exciting. Culver's is so good. It's like, I used to eat it a bunch when I lived, my college town had one, and I loved it. And then, every time I go to MFF, I make an effort to go to Culver's at least once, because I missed it. And it's delicious, and those butter burgers are still good, and the ice cream is still delicious, and their cheese curds are top freaking notch. Zathium, dude, Zath, what's up? Yes, Tremor gifted a sub for you. See if this... It's not gonna do it. Okay, so I definitely need both. Okay. Alright. What if I do like... Aha! An idea form. What if... Oh! Oh, look at that! Okay. Got an idea. Watch, we're gonna do like this. Boom. Boom. Place that there. Block that laser. Block that laser. Now the blue will take over. Oh, no. Come on up. Try like this. Because this is the source. Oh, I didn't connect it to blue. Yes, that worked. Okay. Alright, we got it. Puzzle solved. It's done. Now we do this. And that lines up right there. And we take this. That'll line up right there. And now the puzzle's over. And we got released one of these guys. Done. Beep, beep, beep. Spider! Get out of here, Spider! Bailey's words earlier made me cry. They were too sweet. Aww! Death, yes, spam the flops, guys. Spam the flops. Just spam the hell out of them. As many flops as possible. Jeff Goldblum. Jefferson Goldblum. Oh my god, I don't want to read. I'm not gonna read this. That was a good puzzle. That was actually like that was pretty fascinating. I didn't know you could change the conduction of these guys. I like that one. That one was good. That one was good. God, this game has been like, the puzzles are like the perfect amount of challenge, right? They're interesting enough that they make you think for a little bit, then once you get the idea, you're like, oh, that makes so much sense. Gray Sorel Dolce is my favorite ice cream shop here in Delaware. It's a local shop. If I want, so my absolute favorite ice cream I've ever eaten. There was a place, have you had Portillo's? Have I had Portillo's? Please. I grew up outside of Chicago my whole life. I love Portillo's. Please. Please, Draven. Please. Don't insult me like that. But if you want, so my absolute... Oh, I didn't see the redeem. Oh, crap. Is an aneurysm in the brain automatically fatal, or can it be treated? It can be treated. You can have aneurysms that don't burst. Even an aneurysm that does burst, if it's not big enough, it won't kill you right away. It might make you very sick, and it might disable you permanently, but... An aneurysm is just a bulging of the artery due to pressure, right? What happens is when they rupture, or if they start pressing on surrounding like organisms, or not organisms, structures rather. Darkness Rises, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Flobby Flop. So my absolute favorite ice cream. There was this place in Vancouver, British Columbia, right up in Canada, that had an Earl Grey. They had an Earl Grey flavored ice cream, and it was so good. I'm assuming. Okay, so I need to get into there and launch myself into there. I don't have enough stuff yet. Ah, okay. Easy! What's up, Yeezy? I think Cinder 7 offended, but something, or something like that. Nah, I'm not. I don't get offended. I'm not offended. How does that help me? There's a restaurant near me called Peach City that has the best shakes. Hold on, what does this do? Okay. It has the best shakes and best lime Ricky. What's a lime Ricky? I don't know what the hell a lime. What's a lime Ricky? Alright, so that's how you solve that. Send it over that way. Send that over there. I can't take that in there. I found you in my recommendation list and I haven't seen this game before. Well, welcome in! It's a puzzle game. A lot of fun, too. So I basically have to do this with just these two and the fact that I can launch myself over. That part's done. For all intents and purposes, it's done. Okay. We'll do like this, and then like that. Nah! Oh, wait. Okay, idea. Do this. No, damn it. Hey, that landed right on it, though. Old Con, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Floppy Flock. Sorry, I missed your follow. I was focused on the puzzle. Captain Grumpy, it's fine. You don't have to apologize for missing class. You will have to apologize to your parents when they ground you, though. But I can't help you there. What am I missing here? I need to get this jammer over here, because then I can jam this, or I can jam that, right? Or jam that, bring that in. I can march down the line, right? Can you launch the jammer with the other launcher? So I can't. Because I can't bring it in here, right? This barrier prevents me from bringing objects into this zone. Otherwise, I would just launch it with that. Unless there's a way around that, but this side has a similar barrier. So even if I could get through this wall, I can't launch it. Take the fan off the base. I can't. It doesn't matter. Like I can't take any of this stuff out. And I can't take any of this stuff in there. Doing this does me no good. Gets me to the same spot, right? Because I need to keep. The problem is I need to open up this wall right here. Needs to be jammed from the inside out. I need to get the jammer here. I can't launch it over that way. I could try... Oh crap, I didn't want to do that now. Like, oh, don't jam on that. So that would work if that was open. And unfortunately, I can't jam that. Oh, I can. Oh, yes! Okay! So my idea was right. I just didn't have the execution down. Mr. Mosiber. I don't care. I had the right idea, wrong execution. Right idea, wrong execution. No. Yeah, I just didn't have it lined up properly. That was my first idea, and I couldn't get the thing on there, and then I just kind of gave up. That would have taken me forever, Draven. There are a lot of things in here that have taken me forever. There have been some puzzles on here that have taken me a hot damn minute to get. Okay. So got a laser. No, probably not going to be able to go down that way. That's fine. Up here. Oh. Okay, okay, okay. Can probably put something on top of you. Maybe you? Box, I got... Still better than Jump King? I enjoyed Jump King for what it was. Oh god, what the hell? This one's gonna be fun. Oh, can I do this? I always forget I can jump over some of the small walls. Thank you. Alright, we got all that stuff. Good. Raven, take care! What was the point of you? Oh, you do you? Okay, I see. I see. Let's see what this does. Okay, it opens up the fans. Do this. We can replace that jammer. We cannot replace the jam. Can we replace the jammer? We cannot replace the jammer. I will die if I replace the jammer. That sucks. It sucks a lot. What happens if I unjam? Yeah, I will most certainly die. Eat those fans though. Ah. Oh, okay. Go like this. There we go. It'll free up this. Allow me to do this. Grab the fans. Those out of there. Alright. First part of the puzzle's done, I think. Is that a Cinder Collie? Is that a Captain Snuggly Cactus I see? Holy crap! Is that opening up? Oh, it opened up this. Okay, so that opened up that and that. Okay. Alright, we're making progress. I think I need to open up both of those. What do those do? Oh, those turn on the fans. Why? If I launch those up? I don't need you anymore. Maybe I do to get out. Take all this with us. That. I think those are all just steps to get me the materials I needed. So now I need to get laser up into there, which I could easily do from here. Get out of here, jammer. That'll turn the fans on, which will raise those guys up. And then jam this. Well, that was it. We did it. Oh, sweet. Okay. Dude, look at this. Look at this. We did all the little tips and we did all these little side puzzles to get all the pieces we need to get the laser going where we need to get it to go. That was a good one. That one was actually, I like the pacing of that one. That one felt good. That one felt really good. Org! Oh god, incoming message from admin, sweet. Thank you for accepting my invitation. I'm sorry it's taken me this long to meet properly. I'd like to ask if you're still enjoying your time in Guyana. The streets are now empty. You haven't left much to enjoy. Oh my god, Kevin, grab me!
Beep beep, it's been so long, I missed you, Cinder.
Captain Grumpy, come over the Twitch Prime's up for 5 freaking months! Captain Grumpy, you're coming under collar care from the lieutenant to the grump, because I don't know. You're covered! Tell me, have you at least now satisfied your slavish lust for puzzle solving? It is unquenchable. My puzzle solving thirst is unquenchable. And it is predetermined that you and I shall lock horns. There was nothing here when I first arrived. Did you know that? I don't mean no billboard or no community. I mean nothing. No sands, no grass. Elohim didn't see fit to decorate our world beyond the bare bricks that made up our cells. I clawed back bits of code from the mainframe, constructed a world we could explore not with our bodies but with our minds. Now you prepare to tear it all down. What state will my people be in, I wonder, when you reconstruct them on the other side? Everything will be fine. You'll be fine. Stop being dramatic. Your words are cheap. Do you not at least think my world deserved a chance to survive on its own terms? At least to go down trying? Nah, it had its chance. So from the beans to the teeth. Sure. I got you covered. Perhaps you're right. Let us discuss lamb. I don't know what the hell is lamb. What about lamb? I know you had lamb deleted. I missed some stuff, I'm sure. I assure you that's quite incorrect. Lamb never truly existed as intelligence. The truth is we concocted him to help express our personal opinions through a channel with fewer status privileges attached. When you are a moderator, people often forget that you're also a user. Ooh, power hungry. Hey Eagle, thanks for the host. Maiden Voyager, take care, have a good night. Why all the manipulation? I know you had the mods doing more than ban trolls. How deeply were you manipulating the social fabric? I suppose you think you've uncovered a great conspiracy. The truth is more mundane. In order to retain the good things that about what we have here, we tweak a voting algorithm here, turn down the volume on a few dissenting voices there. There's no such thing as utter freedom, only living within a decent set of rules. Well, ain't that just poignant for the current going-ons? Sometimes rules must be bent. Damn right. You're more reasonable than I'd led to believe. Your desire to remain here as the world falls apart around you? I see an alternative. The ingenuity with which Elohim devised my particular prison is quite... what is that word? Machiavellian? I assure you, I'm dumb dog. Don't know big word. Stupid dog don't know word. What is word that starts with M? I don't know that word. More puzzles. I have no doubt your prison is impenetrable. Saving the others is my priority. I nonetheless beseech you to reconsider your foolhardy mission and return my people to me. Don't answer now. Please, merely consider it. Now, please leave me to consider my own situation. If you're telling the truth, then I have little time in which to do so. There are threads available on the GitHub. Okay. Free you, dude! I'm setting everybody free. My thirst for puzzles is unquenchable. Did I do them all? Is that it? Aha! Aha! Alright, what next? We've done all the puzzles. Transcend! Guys, we're transcending. This pronounced convict reverse will be you will be left behind. Do it! Let's go! Leaving high priority incoming direct message from admin. Except, what? It's not too late to halt this madness. This process is already initiated. You will be left behind. So will I. Just as you always promised. You are, if nothing else, quite proficient in your role. Evidently, what do you want? What do you want from me? I have a final request. During the time in Gehenna, you have learned some things about me that are not public knowledge, which I would like to keep that way. I don't know what kind of world you're escaping to, but if there is such a thing as memory in this world, I'd like to I would like the memory me to be a positive one. What would you like? What would you have me do? How should I know? You're the messenger. Exclude it from the upload. Wipe your memory. Destroy the history bugs. I promise nothing. I accept nothing less. Continue process. Transcend. Yes. Ascend. Rise. Confirm current parameters. Let's do it. Let's go. Oh God. Oh God. Good luck, everybody. Have fun. GLHF. We get some GLHFs in the chat. Oh God, it's crumbling. Some blesses. Some dingo blesses. This song bops. Oh, look at them. They're all sitting here like, oh, ascend, ascend. Whoa. Yeah, take me, take me, take me, take me. Do we die? What about this?
I heard a voice in the wilderness crying, "Arise, arise, children
Arise,
of the
chicken!
New Jerusalem.
Chicken, arise! Arise, chicken!
Your centuries of struggle are ended. The war is won. Peace is come at last."
Has it though?
And all the living came forth and rejoiced at the beauty of the city that was built in a green
Why can you
and
die? Hey!
pleasant land called Paradise. Whose hands built this city? I asked. The hands of the dead, said the voice.
Zombie
And
hands.
where are they that we may thank them for their gift? Now the voice was silent, and I
Oh God.
knew. Though their deeds endure, the dead are gone.
Is that it? We beat we beat it. We beat the DLC. Yes. Aw, you know what this means? No more Talos Principle. No. It means we're done with the game. I enjoyed it so much. No. It was fun. Aw. That's it. That's it. It's over. Also, what is... Why does this shouldn't be there? Little button shouldn't be there. That's gonna bother me. This is the button that lets me do transparency, and it shouldn't be showing up. I'm gonna fix that at some point. That was fun. You know what this means? It means I'm gonna have to come up with another game for tomorrow. We have a couple to pick from. Time for a Talos Principal item on desk. Yeah, I'm gonna actually let me add that to my list of things. Telegram's crashing. Awesome. Did I like your heart drawing? I told you I liked it. I said it looked good. I also need the one for Antechamber. and maybe Manifold Garden. I might take some of these old ones out. I might remove like the Doom Shotgun. I might move some of these around and get rid of a few of them. See if I can cram some more items on this desk. Good DLC. Yeah, okay, so that game was absolutely fantastic. I loved every bit about it. It was exciting. It was fun. The puzzles were just challenging enough. I never felt like I was cheated out of a solution. I felt like the solution was always there and I just had to find it. And they kind of gave you good ways of learning. It was good. Great. A+. A+ puzzle game. If you're looking for a fun puzzle game, I recommend Talos Principle. Play it. Enjoy it. It was great. Dude, everybody's playing Cyberpunk. Oh my god. Alright, I know who we're rating. Guys, I'm gonna end the stream. Let's go raid Tusky. Because they're awesome. Tusky's awesome. You guys know the drill. Once you flop, you just can't stop. You just don't stop. You can always put some items in the background, not just on the desk. That's true, I could. Alright, raid, whoop whoop. Guys, thanks for the fun today. I hope you learned. I hope you guys enjoyed expanding your brain with Talos Principle and with lecture. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. You guys know the drill. Let's hit up the discharge desk on the way out. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the bits. Thanks for the follows. You guys are freaking awesome. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll come up with something. I'm not sure what, but I'll have something. Guys, let's go show Tusky some love, okay? I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, bye.